Dear viola-loving people all over the world, a very warm welcome to you all on this first presentation of a country that is an International Viola Society member. My name is Karin Dolman, Vice President of the International Viola Society, and I am delighted to be your host today. On behalf of the IVS, our enthusiastic team will do its very best to connect viola players, inform them and give everybody a good time. Canada will present the first submission today and other viola societies will follow on a monthly basis. The idea is to give viola players an insight into what is going on in other countries and stimulate an international cross-pollination into a worldwide viola field. Before we start the Canadian submission, we will get in contact with Jutta Puchhammer, President of the International Viola Society. Jutta Puchhammer is a celebrated violist from Montreal. She was born in Austria and moved to Canada after her viola studies in her home country. Jutta is the former president of the Canadian Viola Society and a driven protagonist for the viola. A warm welcome to Jutta Puchhammer. Hello, Jutta.
Hello, how are you? It is a very special occasion, I think, for me, also as the president of the International Viola Society. Thanks to the fantastic team we have around, that we could make it happen, that we can start this very first virtual event for our member societies. It's also very special because the first country is Canada, which I immigrated to. And I know that the team here of the CVS has worked really hard to put this very first viola day together, and also then the video that is following, featuring our really unsurpassed Steven Dann, who has had a terrific career. And he will also be awarded something at the very end, so stay tuned. And let's start with the recording and with the introduction from Michael van der Sloot, the Vice President of the Canadian Viola Society.
Okay, so Jutta and all people have fun by watching the masterclass of Steven Dann. Here we go.
We are very excited to be having our very first Canadian Viola Society Viola Day. And it's an experiment, I guess, that we're going to be running today. So my name is Michael van der Sloot. I'm the Vice President of the Canadian Viola Society and teacher at University of Ottawa. And it's a pretty special event. I actually, when I look at the list of students and instructors that are coming from across Canada, it's a really special event that kind of brings us all together in this huge geographical country. It kind of links us all together. We all know each other well, and I think everyone gets along very well. So it's kind of neat during this pandemic to be able to get together like this for Viola Day. So to start off the day, we actually, we're very lucky, and we're looking forward to having our special guest. That's going to be Steven Dann. Steven Dann is really an internationally recognized violist, instructor, and we're all very proud to call him Canadian. And so I will be getting more into his bio and kind of descriptions a little bit later on, but I think we should probably get started with the class. So Steven, if you just want to say a little greeting, and then we'll get started with the first student.
Well, what can I say? I'm honored to be here, and yes, I am Canadian. Western Canadian. So it's wonderful to be here. And I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody play, meeting some new people, hearing some new younger colleagues. The repertoire is all rather interesting. In fact, I was reading about the repertoire a little bit in the last days, and there are connections to all of it from each other. They're not just all pieces. There's the Hindemith and the Vieuxtemps, and the Paganini. They're all by players, of course, written by players. But in fact, I discovered that Vuitton and Paganini actually met. Vuitton was a child prodigy, and he was traveling, and he was playing concerts in London. He was at the end of a long tour. He was 9 years old. He was playing concerti with orchestras over there, and he met Paganini in London in 34, which is the year that the Paganini was written, the year that Harold in Italy was written. And so it's a kind of funny coincidence that all these pieces should be on the same program. Hindemith, of course, having a long association with London as well, having premiered Walton there and written Trower music for George V. And so all of this repertoire relates to itself, if you want. But I think we should listen now to everybody and to get playing. It's Nina, right? Nina.
Yes. So my name's Nina Weber. I'm a student at the University of British Columbia, and I study with Professor Marina Thibault. I'm originally from St. John's, Newfoundland. And I'll be playing the third movement of the Sonata for Viola and Piano by Henri Vieuxtemps.
Before you start, is there a way that I can get Nina as a full-size picture here? There. Fantastic. There you are. Hi. Brava, wonderful. Did you play an octave B flat at the B flat at the end?
I did.
Okay. It's good. It's good. It was in tune enough so that I hardly noticed it.
Right. Okay.
And very nice. This sonata, I think that this movement is probably of the three the most difficult to bring off, isn't it? It's the one which kind of has, I guess, the least material in it in some ways. It's more a vehicle for showing off, for flash, for it's very vieux-temps, isn't it? He was obviously writing for himself, but I think that one of the things that can help a lot in it is that you pay a lot of attention to the kind of environment that you create by playing it, so that it never sounds big, or it never sounds heavy, or it never sounds set in its ways, that it always sounds rather French, or rather more than French. And so it's all of the small dynamics which I think enabled you to succeed in doing that. And in a sense that it doesn't put its feet down all the time, despite all of these little accents. If you, at the very beginning there, all the way through until where it's all piano, isn't it? With some explosions, everything is piano, everything is pianissimo. There are just these big, if you want, kind of emotional outpouring, a little bit happening, but so I think that helps you float the whole thing along more, so that all of the little tiny bits and pieces don't become objects in themselves, so that we're not thinking bar by bar, but so find ways of kind of creating, I don't know how you would say it other than maybe that there are physical movements, there are dance movements, there are gestures, not based on just those single slurs that happen all the way through. So that moments like that. So that we're always feeling kind of, where are we going all the time? You know, there's always a kind of destination. And I think that you can also succumb a little bit to I sometimes think, maybe I shouldn't generalize, but I will, that in French music, if you have a crescendo, it generally results in a kind of acceleration of the emotional state, kind of accelerates. I think that maybe the opposite you could say is true of German music, where it sits back, where if the music gets bigger, it tends to sit more in itself. And so in places like this, or even that that the full gestures become, you've gone, no, from, how do I do that now? I've got me now and not you. That just happened. There you are. Brilliant. So that we feel, well, just do that again. Do from the beginning.
Okay.
So yaradum, 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 yaradum. See if you can take the full gesture rather than just the little pieces of it, and show me what that is. Now, can you play all of that more quietly?
Yes.
I don't know whether I'm actually getting, that's the problem with Zoom, isn't it? I don't know if you're playing loud or soft or anything. I just get one single dynamic, but a kind of color which is. And I think I would de-emphasize a little bit the ornaments so that they don't become items, you know. So they're just little frills, okay, rather than topic it out of doom. Much better. Very good. Very good. Now, could I say one thing that about how you move when you play? Could you be a little bit? This movement works really well. This movement works really well, but this movement where you take yourself back to the frog, I think you end up out here a lot of the time. Whereas really your balance could be much more in front. So all of those, just move all of you to the frog of the bow rather than moving the frog of the bow to you, right? Okay. And each one of these anticipations, these beats which start could be stressed, couldn't they? So they're all the bouncing off points for what follows in that gesture. Just start right on the tune.
Okay.
Great, really good, really good. Now play from here. And then really piano suddenly, okay? Really another world, another color. So start on the mezzo forte.
Okay.
Good. Nina, can you lift? Right there, and then so that I really feel like is the end of something, and then so don't connect the two things together so much. I almost want you to do another down bow. You know why? Because you have to use so much bow at a moment in the gesture that wants very little sound. So then we end up. Then you have a chance to go away at the end of the gesture. Try that once. Good. No, that's so much better. Now the actual shape of the gesture and the actual sort of dynamic structure is very obvious. And you can do that. It's a technical thing too, isn't it? It's
Yes.
much easier to play that way. Now start right on the piano. Good, good. And once again, if you have something that is in terms of just volume or this if you use all of your bow for all of those, then they'll all sound equal, won't they? So if you want it to grow, then you're going to start with very little bow and grow. And so again, from here. Now, can I ask, because I've asked this question of myself, isn't it all forte?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because it could easily be an echo, couldn't it? But then we have a piano. So maybe that accent, in fact, means even more. It's more heroic than you're making it.
Okay.
So good. Would you mind doing and quiet until forte?
Yes.
Good, really good, really good, really good. I think in the time you would have always have lifted. Not. So you can be rather classical with all of those gestures. You can lift those 8 notes. And think again, as we spoke here, of increasing the amount of bow if you're growing. So start less, make more. Really good. Now let's try again what I talked about earlier about this movement. So if you go so put your bow right here in front of you and put your viola under it, all of you. Now don't move your bow. Put your bow like this. Now go all the way over. Now go. Leave your bow in one place. Okay, now that's probably very strange, but never mind. So now incorporate that and this movement. Both movements. Good. That's really good. And you see that what happens is you're rubbing 2 sticks together, right? You're not just rubbing the bow on a piece of furniture, but actually you're moving, all of you. And I think that if you were to admit to yourself, if you didn't have a viola in your hand and a bow, and you move this hand very suddenly that way, this hand would go the other way, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Like that. So if you take that as just a sort of natural result of this movement. It's going to happen. Normally. So just let it happen, is all I'm saying. So right there, starting on the mezzo forte. Really good. How does that feel?
It feels good. It feels different, but it feels good.
Yeah, I think it should. It should feel like you're, in fact, relaxing things which you were holding in place before.
Yes.
If we can start using these two things in opposition to each other, then we're not playing on something which is static, right? So if this side of you is in one place and you're playing on it, then something has to be holding it there, because your body doesn't want to just stay in one place. It wants to react to the other movements that are going on. And I think you can take that logic into almost anything you do on the instrument. Even this movement, that if you add more weight, if I drop this side of my body down and I don't want to collapse, then in fact this side goes up, right? So there's a feeling that if I go, I'm always opposing the more, it's the equal and opposite, thing that we all learned in physics in school. So that feeling of it being, but I also think that you begin then to get a kind of sound production which is a cooperative one. So you're using this side, you're becoming sensitive to how the instrument reacts to the bow, rather than just playing on it, and it's participating, in other words, right? These two things. And that feeling of doing that when you play should go away altogether, so that you leave your instrument horizontal to the ground. You put your bow on, and you just move your viola, or the rest of you, all of you, just parallel to the ground like that. And then the bow travels on top of that plane. So then you always have a kind of default tension, don't you? You can count on it staying where it is, and you can grow, it becomes a constant, rather than something which is mobile. And by the way, there are no ideal ways of doing all of this. There are gray areas in everything, aren't there? And of course you're going to move all the time, and you're not going to just stay like this. We can't do that, because we react to the movement that we're playing, etc. But at least as a sort of base, move like that, then I'll say it out loud. Eventually, you might even be able to get rid of your shoulder rest.
Yes, interesting. Okay.
because then you have to actually admit to yourself you're supporting the instrument with your left hand, with this right here, rather than holding it like this. And it's fine to use a shoulder rest, but don't let the shoulder rest tell you where the viola should go. You tell the shoulder rest where it should go. What city are you in right now?
I'm in Vancouver currently.
Ah, say hello.
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm in a practice room at the University of British Columbia.
Okay, amazing. I was going to tell a funny story about that very building when the Hindemith comes on, because I have a really distinct memory of something of a competition I did out there, playing that Hindemith that's coming up, the Passacaglia movement especially. Anyways, I don't know how much time we have. Michael, where are we?
I think that maybe we can move on if you're okay with that.
Sorry, Nina. Come visit.
Thank you so much.
You play beautifully.
Thank you.
See you.
Great job, Nina. Really great playing. And Yetzi, do we have you ready to play now? If you could just please announce your name and where you are and what you'll be playing, that would be great, please.
Okay. My name is Yezi. I'm originally from Shanghai, China. Currently, I'm studying with Yuta Pohama at the University of Montreal. And today I'm going to play the first movement Passacaglia of Hindemith Viola Sonata, number 5, opus 11.
Can I ask, would you like me to let you play it all the way through?
Yeah, is that okay? I would like
Yeah,
to.
it's fine. I'm just asking up front. Okay, good. I'm looking forward. Brava.
Thank you.
I don't have you again.
I'm going to get a stand, sorry.
Okay. You're very good at playing mit aller Kraft. Do you know what that means?
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
I said you're very good at playing mit aller Kraft. In other words, with all of your energy. You're very good at that. This piece is interesting, isn't it? Because it can be, of course, it's interesting on 1,000 levels. It can be exhausting, completely exhausting. I have a feeling that there is a proverb. I think it's Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching, is that, how do you say that? The proverb is that a good traveler should have no fixed plans and should not be intent on arriving. That you have a sense that when you play this piece, that you have the ability to explore every place as you go along, and not feel that you're always destined to arrive at the end of the entire thing. In other words, there are all kinds of episodes, if you want, all kinds of small corners that you can explore, and maybe you decide to go on, maybe you don't. Of course you do. And it's a simplistic thing for me to put it that way. But if you know what I mean, you don't have to drive it all the time. It doesn't have to be with a sense of making everybody listen all this. It has all kinds of intimacy about it. And I think that one of the things that Hindemith suffers from is that it's too often played objectively, if you want, or without a sort of warmth or romanticism that it would have had in those days. Do you know when this was written? It was written in 1919, and Hindemith wrote all of these Opus 11 6 sonatas. He started them, at least, while he was in the war. He was on the front. He was actually writing these 6, the 2 violin, 2 viola, 2 cello pieces from Opus 11, and so I think that a lot of that atmosphere is in them, isn't it? He premiered it himself in, I think, 19 or somewhere in that area. So there is a lot of battle music in it. There is a lot of angst. There is a lot of turmoil. But your job as the performer is to make the really beautiful things even more so, and not exaggerate, I think, the really stressful moments until they actually really erupt as so, right? So, for instance, if we take the very opening of this, I think it can be warm and grand, but not necessarily mighty and challenging. Yom Pom, because it's really a statement of a Passacaglia theme, isn't it? Have you actually gone through this and figured out where all the different parts are? Have you looked? Do you know how many sections there are? And
I think it's either 19 or 22. I counted, but I forgot.
That's right. That's right. I believe it's 22. And the first 8 bars are the Passacaglia theme. So I think you can introduce us to that in a kind of warm and what the Germans would call feierlich, grand, maestoso, maybe, but I think not so aggressive, because aggression comes much later in the piece. There are moments when it is very aggressive, isn't there? Aren't there? But this can be settled, and you're basically telling us what the germ of the entire piece will be. In these 8 bars, they become the thematic, basically, shape of. It's of course, not all of the sections are the same length. Some of them are a little bit longer, or some of them a bit shorter, and some of them start in the middles of bars, and some of them. But we have to, I think, feel that first 8 bars is a statement.
Okay.
But not like that.
Okay.
My God. I still have all this music to play. Watch out, you know, I don't get scared. It's really long. I'll tell you a really short story about this piece. Because of Nina, who was at UBC, I did a competition when I was young, stepping stones competition. I don't know how old I was, late teens. And in those days, the other person that I competed against all the time was Gwen Hobig. And she's the concertmaster of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. We grew up together in Vancouver. So we were competing in Kiwanis and things like this. We competed in this stepping stone, and we were the two finalists. And she was playing the Franck Sonata, and me, being young and idealistic, I decided to play this piece. And I lost. And then I was leaving dejected, and my parents had been at the concert, and it was out at UBC. It was pouring rain, and we were standing at the door, and there was this really old woman who came up behind us with her cane, and she was having trouble with her umbrella. And my father said, "Oh, you know, where are you going? Because it's dark out, and there's one bus every half hour out at UBC." And he said, "Where can we take you somewhere?" And so she got in the car, and we were driving her out to somewhere on Point Grey and drop her off. Anyway, she got into the back seat with me, and she didn't know who I was. She had no idea that I had just played. And I was sitting there dejected. I had played my heart out, and to nothing. And she said, my father said, "Oh, how'd you enjoy the concert?" And she said, "Oh, this young girl played the most beautiful, beautiful Franck Sonata I've ever heard. It was so beautiful. The violin playing was like an angel." And then this young boy got up on the stage, and he played this piece that went on and on and on and on. And why did young people play these pieces like this, you know? And so I was sitting there ready to open the door and just kind of quietly slip her out into the night. However, I didn't. And but so that lesson for me was, how does this music, how do we actually capture the audience when we play it? How do we actually keep it? And I think it's not by playing more, it's by playing, in fact, less. I think it's by playing with more intimacy, more attention to detail. And really, I think in the case of Hindemith, because he was so exacting and so meticulous, really following his directions. Yeah. I think you can ask yourself again and again, when you look at a problem, when you look at this 8 bars and then this 8 bars, and that middle section, the B section, you know, that goes from page 9, bottom 5 lines until the top 6 lines of the next page. That, I think you have to ask yourself again and again, what would Paul do? Paul Hindemith, what would Paul do here? You know, what's his bent going to be? What's he after at this point? So keep asking this question. How can I make this music not bigger, not grander, not more forceful, but more captivating, if you want. So play the very opening once more with that in mind. So you see that there are 2 big chords with lines. Ta, ya, right? They have lines over them. Yeah. No accents. There are accents which begin to appear, but in mezzo forte at the first variation, right? Which is the last 2 bars of the next line. So let's play this first phrase, and let's make it really resonant. Good. Now the next thing you play is piano, right? Maybe it's crescendo to forte again, but still it starts. Try once playing not down, down, but down, up. So good. You don't have to do down, up, but it had a sort of ring to it, didn't it? Plus, I started to feel that the 2 chords were connected to each other. And then, now tell me, the last 2 chords of the next bar, where do they go? Are they independent, or do they actually go to the bar line?
It should go to the next bar line.
Okay, so if you do that, you kind of don't. You kind of go yum, hum, ta does yum pum ya then use that as a template for every time you come to that same material for the rest of the piece. So like in Bach, if you were playing a prelude, let's say, and he gives you a motive, let's say it's, what's a good example? The D minor suite prelude. Every time you come to that shape, throughout the whole prelude, if you play it the same way, then a light goes on in the ear of the listener, doesn't it? I recognize that. I know where that's from. It starts to illustrate the architecture of the piece itself, and then it becomes less confusing, right? So if you go and then we start again. Pom tom da 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 wa da 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 yum pom pa ya da da wa da 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 da.
Yeah.
So phrasing is everything. Once again. Great. So finish your first thought, and then take a little bit of a breath or something and tell me that now something new is starting. This is the first, so you've finished the theme, now and then mezzo forte with accents. Tom, pom is the first variation, if you want, okay? So just play a few bars, 2 bars back, 3 bars back, wherever you want. The big chords, perhaps, at the beginning of the line. Now, maybe now that it's mezzo forte, you don't need to do down, down.
So down, up.
Maybe. Tom, pom. I see it makes it difficult, doesn't it? Okay, do. Pom, pom. You know what? Try once. I know it's completely, it doesn't look logical, but just play exactly the ink. Start and just play bow by bow. Starting down, up, da 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 da, up, down, da 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 da, wum, pum, pa da dum. Just play it as it comes. No, sorry. I meant from the mezzo forte.
Oh, sorry.
So possibly, right? Possibly. If you treat this as another color, another atmosphere than the opening, which is big, the opening is big, forte, the down downs perhaps are better. This time, perhaps, even by doing that, it's a bit of a, it prevents you in a way, doesn't it, from suddenly doing the same thing that you did at the very beginning. Som, pom, ta-da-da-da-da-da-wam, tom, and be careful. Dum bum is an accent, and then da 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 one dum, and then da 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 dum, but then no accent, right? So the third time is very different in intent. It's also the bottom of a crescendo, not the top.
Yeah.
Do that one again. Down, up again. I liked it.
Okay.
again, the third one has no accent. Dom, bom, ba da 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 da, wom, bom, ba da 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 da, wa da 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 da. It's the beginning of a longer line.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have an indication that is fortissimo with an accent, right? And it's a result of something, isn't it? Is it a beginning or is it an ending?
It should be the beginning.
Yes, perhaps, right? So therefore, probably the chord before it could be treated more lifted, as maybe it's an ending, da-dum, da-dum, pa-da-dum, and then pom. So breathe. If you could use that forte chord as an ending and then lift and then start on the fortissimo. Really good. So we begin to see some logic in these dynamics, right? There's a reason for them. They're his way of explaining what is the rhetoric here. Where are the nouns? Where are the verbs? What's the grammar? So all of these forte chords then become liaison, I suppose, between one phrase and another. If you want to look at them as a hinge or a final chord of the previous phrase, or just like in this particular case, the beginning of the fifth line, this one single forte chord, probably it's just yom, bom, yom, dom. It's a way of making the second beat sound like a beginning, rather than just it's a pickup. So there aren't three pickups there. These are all motivic features. And in fact, what they are, of course, are repetitions of the first two things you play in the whole Passacaglia subject, right? The first two chords in the page are repeated here. So wom, bom, and then there's that anomaly, that little forte chord, and then dom, pa da 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 is what's missing because there's a 16th rest in the first bar after the first two chords. Yeah. So he's added that now. He's explained this could be something loud. So he's monkeying with the expectations of the listener. But each time you play it, if you give it the same subject, if you give the subject the same shape, then if you do something different, then the very clever, studied listener will understand, I see why that chord is missing at the beginning, and now I see why you put it in to supply me with a clue for how it starts next. So Hindemith was extremely, I think, detailed in his markings. He put exactly what he wanted to hear. He was extremely pragmatic and very, very clear in his intentions. And I think it's only by playing exactly what you see when you first start, like you should with any new piece, that you sort of surrender yourself to him, and you don't put your own expectations on. You have to sort of grapple with these strange markings, and if you do them exactly there, then all of a sudden you think, why is it there? What's he getting at here? But until you actually do it, you're not forced to deal with that. It's a bit of a metaphor for life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have to go on again, right, Michael? Am I?
Yeah, I think so. If that's great.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to hear you play. Beautiful playing.
Great to hear you, too. Very good to hear you. And we'll move on to Christoph. Christoph, with our regulations here with everything, he had to record his with piano. We couldn't break it live with piano right now. So I'll play that recording, and then he'll be working with you live, okay?
Yeah. Was that your choice to play that?
Yeah.
Fun. Have you done any of his other pieces? Have you done the quartet with the guitar and cello and violin and solo viola? That's a wonderful piece. That's a really terrific piece to play. Good. You know what? I always think that with Paganini that there's a sort of a little bit like, maybe it's because of the time frame, although it's a bit earlier, but that it can be played with too much force, if you want. That it can be played too, that the sound can be too strong. It can be too, that in fact it's quite innocent music, isn't it? I mean, all of these little march themes, are quite innocent. They're quite almost opera buffa. Do you know what opera buffa is? So that feeling of it being hovering a little bit on humor, if you want, or on something that's lighthearted, maybe the operetta of the early 19th century kind of bleeding into it. So I think that you can move in that direction if you can, and I think that one of the it might be worth your while, in fact, to have fun if you want to try playing it on an old instrument with gut strings and a classical bow, because then you get these colors and these sounds that seem obvious, sort of listening. If someone has an early music background, you hear these sort of scratchy gut strings, and also Paganini, of course, played with a very flat bridge, low strings. He wasn't interested in volume, just speed and the sort of colors that he could get out of the instruments. The other thing I would suggest, maybe just before I go on more about the piece itself or you're playing, is you might try playing this with guitar. It's really beautiful with guitar, in fact. And of course, Paganini was a guitarist. In fact, I think that if you read a little bit more about him, you'll find that he almost thought of himself more as a guitarist in some ways. He loved the guitar, he traveled with it everywhere, but he never ever played it in public. It was always something he played just with friends, and I bet he was absolutely brilliant at the guitar. So you can insert even more of yourself into this than you do. You can take all of these indications, these markings, these bowings that you see. I don't know what you're looking at, but what edition, but is it Schott? Are you playing from?
Yes.
Okay, then I have the same. Have you looked online at the manuscript?
I have. There's a lot of extra cadenzas there that I don't.
Exactly.
I try, but I wasn't sure if I should.
Right. That was one of the things I was going to say, is every time you have a pause, like at the bottom of the first page there, it's a kind of invitation to do something even more spectacular than you've just come from. So if you're interested in doing that, I think it definitely, and the bottom of the next page as well, actually, is another place, isn't it, where a cadenza is kind of invited. So that might, but and maybe these long slurs, like for instance, in the fourth line from the bottom, could be broken, not just all legato, but well, this long slur after the F sharp pause after 3 on the first page.
Oh yeah.
You see that very long. You could probably monkey with that in many ways. Even that. Sorry, I'm just going to spill my tea on my viola here. If you go maybe something, break it up a little bit. Did you see what I just did?
Not really. I'll come closer. Sorry.
So if you go and because he's dealing with blocks of his hand, isn't he? There always are patterns in his hand, and which is another product of being a great guitarist, is he's playing chords all the time. So if you take all of those chords and just play them as one thing, but also bow them that way, so that it's not just like play. I mean, you can play the notes better than me because you've looked at it, but try doing threes into the next group of four once, just as a variation, for instance.
Okay.
Good. Now play it. Now play it in tempo with that bowing. For instance, something like that. Something like that gives it more, and you can make a crescendo. You can make a rallentando. You can start separating the notes at the top of the thing to make it even more spectacular. So, of course, the more impressive you are before the pause, the less onus is on you to make an even more impressive cadenza, right? So make it as flashy as you can all the way through. But the very beginning, the recitativo a piacere, you have again more freedom. This is very operatic, isn't it? This. So ta-da-dum, ta-dum, complain, ta-da-da-ta-dum, ta. This is really terrible what I'm about to do. Tell a story with this, you know. Each time you have the opportunity to bend it around, do even more. So just play that very opening for me once more.
Okay.
So Christoph, don't make your pauses all the same. Connect the whole thing. And then you know, take lots of liberty. Once more. And do different bowings this time, just for you. So Christoph, why are the bottom notes so loud all of a sudden? I only ask as the devil. Why?
I was trying to go for a snowball effect where it keeps rolling further down, and at the very end it kind of hits a.
Okay.
And then you have the octave after that.
Right. Then how about if you go all the way into it? If you want to do that, then sorry. Connect it then, right? If you go make it one thing. Try that. Because it sounds like just a sort of suddenly it does that, you know, with no provocation, you know, and then what you do next is again separate from it. So let's try connecting these events. Maybe.
Can I try what you were doing?
Yeah, what was I doing? So somehow, if you're going to explode at the end, then carry me further. Do you know what I mean? You're going to make a block of something at the end.
Yeah.
Not just suddenly 5 notes loud.
Okay, I see.
Try bowing it the other way around once. Yeah, then you can carry me. Anyways, all you're doing is you're trying to look for a logical or a progressive way of saying something dramatic, right? So if there's something explodes, there should be some reason for it exploding. Not just that it's been quiet until then and now it's loud, but have a sense that you're either building towards or taking away from. But music is about it's about response, isn't it? It's about provocation. It's about tension and release, or release and tension. It's about always creating a sense of expectation and then robbing me of it or giving it to me or something like that. So in an improvisation, which is what this opening is, there has to be a sense of where are you going? What's the dialogue here? And what is the point of that ending? That obviously somebody has really irritated you to the point where you've got to go like that, right? So in a way, you can look at music backwards too. You can say, okay, if you're trying to figure out a phrase, you can say, okay, there's a huge passionate moment here. Why is it that way? Then you go backwards in the music and you say, I have to make that passionate moment the reason. There has to be a reason for it. So I have to create the reason by the phrase which happens before. Mm-hmm. That makes sense? Yeah. Okay, good. Just play once now, top of the next page. You know what I missed a lot of the time in the sort of more regular stuff? I missed a swing, a sense that it was just do-dum, ba-dum, bum, yum, ba-dum, ba-da, yum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da, yum. You know, kind of more, a little bit more, well, opera buffa, a little bit more full of humor, full of kind of something jocular, but don't be afraid to kind of make a tempo and sit in it and you know, make it work, even if it says, as it says, dolce, that you know, so do, yum, ba-dum, bum, create a swing that, out of which I can figure out what's going on. So do that now at the cantabile, the top of page 3.
Page 3.
Good. So Chris, where's that going? Where's that bar going? Think about it. If you think yo, if you were to sing it, you would probably go yum, pom, ya-da-da-dum, ba-dum. And now I hear yum, tom, ya-da-da, yum, pa-dum. Whereas in fact, probably this heads for the bar line, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if you, again, it's a little bit like I was saying, hint a bit earlier, if you create a sense of expectation, then you can use that. You can hang your clothes on that frame every time. And then I get very comfortable with it, you know, and it's nice to listen to. So just do that again from the top. That's better. That's better. Now you might have to modify your bowing in order to make that work, right? But that's incidental. Now go to the double bar and see if you can actually somehow have that same kind of swing inside that too.
Starting from
the double bar that's coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. So Christoph, be careful that the up bows don't get accents. It's easy for it to go, but stem to always strong weak, strong weak, strong weak. That was good. You know what? I would just play open G strings with my bow if I were you. I think I would just not do those pizzicati.
Okay.
And you know what? That's a good reason to play it with the guitar, because guitar is already pizzicato, so you don't have to do it. Good. So now play a little bit of one of these march themes. So let's start right on the next page. I think I have to stop in a couple of minutes, but just do the beginning of the top page.
Yeah, we should stop pretty soon. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Good, good. Now, every time you see an appoggiatura or a grace note, this is a point of interest, right?
Yes.
So generally, you could say to yourself, okay, he writes that. It's probably a stressed moment, right? And then you end up with, again, this sense of even if it's very slow. Maybe not necessarily that one, but third beats. But so look for a way to give me a swing through this too. Your turn. Good. Now, I don't know. I guess those fortissimos are correct, are they? They're in brackets.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want them to be completely fortissimo.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to do a fortissimo, then it should be like the Surprise Symphony of Haydn, right? Bah! Yeah. Or don't do it. Okay. Yum pa yum bum ba dum ba. But I think that to play it halfway is a bit odd, because then you end up with a little bit of a sort of embarrassed kind of surprise, you know? So so either go for it or leave it out, I would say. Okay. It's not unusual, of course, for the music to have that kind of thing in it at this time. So, but it's not in the manuscript. I haven't paid that much. Is it not? Have you looked?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's somebody's idea from somewhere. Maybe because of its altitude, etc. It's a sort of accepted. Yeah. Who knows? Anyways, I'm sorry. I guess we have to stop. But it was a pleasure hearing you play. Really, you play beautifully.
Thank you so much.
And bravo for this challenging piece as well.
Christoph, before you go off, I'm very sorry. I didn't allow you to introduce yourself before I played the video.
It's okay.
You, Christoph? Okay. Well, we know who he is. Yeah. Where are you? You're coming from Ottawa, right, Christoph?
I live in Toronto.
Oh.
Now, but I go to school in Ottawa. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. That's a wonderful class. Well, and it's kind of I love the fact that the repertoire is quite varied, and
Yeah.
it's great. It's great to hear all the talented young players. Really
Yeah,
wonderful
wonderful
to hear
player.
them all. Bravo to everyone. So
I don't see you, Mike.
there we go.
There you are. Okay, good.
Really wonderful ideas for everyone, and I think applicable, to a lot of different works too. And thank you very much for giving that class for everyone.
That was fun. Thank you very much for having me.
Great.
Yes.
So we actually, we have a special presentation for you, and
Okay.
in in anticipation of that, we've actually prepared a little video, and I'm going to screen share that for everyone. And it's just in honor of everything that you have done, in your life for viola playing, and in Canada and abroad, and all the wonderful performing and the commissions you've done. We have a little something we'd like to share with everyone.
my goodness, anyone else really want to go practice right now? This was unbelievable to see it unfold like this in one video setting. Thank you so much to Michael and all the Viola Day organizers for setting this special day up today. I want to thank also Daniel, Elvira, and Isabel. They came forward with this idea of creating this celebration of viola in Canada. And gladly today there's a lot to celebrate. As you can see, Steve, the cat is out of the bag. You saw from the video that we want to honor you today for your lifetime achievement. And I say that you're muted, but I will ask you now to get your precious envelope. We had a secret agent, Anne, whom all of you know. She made this all happen. She created all of the surprises that are in there. And perhaps Lucy Strauss, who was involved in the video, can share in the chat the link with all the information in regards to the prize. So the description, there it is. She's so quick. Oh my God. And you will see all of the past awardees as well. I'm currently in the house of Hans Carl Pilz, a former awardee of this prize. And, you know, we're just wondering, how do you do it all? Because as you see from the video, you have played early music just at the highest level. You've been a new music ambassador. I still need to know your workout routine for the Barrio Sequenza. You've touched the life of so many people while on stage, while teaching. You've inspired generations of violists to just come forward with the solo voice of their instrument as collaborative instrumentalists and as pedagogues. So we're all here today to honor you, honor everything that you've done, and we look forward to everything else ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Marina, thank you so much. Wonderful to see you. It's been way too long.
I know. I was thinking about the last time that that we've seen each other, and actually it made me think about something that we can all do in the chat. And if there's remaining time, people can come forward also with their video turns on and their audio, but perhaps we can all share a moment where you have changed our life. And for me, this was at Domaine about 9 years ago. It was the first time that we met. It was the first time that I heard you live. Of course, I had many recordings of yours, the Archibudelli Ensemble, which I was always swooning over. And it struck me so much how you were coaching from within the group, right? And so you needed quite empathic leadership. I am not able to do it as well as you, but I'm longing to do this one day like you. But this actually changed my life, to play next to you and to feel your energy as a performer and as a pedagogue at the same time was really powerful. So anyone who is comfortable sharing this, and will save this chat and hopefully include some of these testimonial in our newsletters if you're comfortable with this.
Of course. Do you know that is for me the greatest moments of my year always are the Domaine, and the time I spent sitting beside young colleagues who give me as much as I give them. I know there's so much to think about always at the end of every day. There's so much energy that comes from it. So much. It's like a self-perpetuating, spectacularly great set of musical colleagues that just never stops, and but this is so moving. Sorry.
And you've created that community, right? So this is also part of the prize, is that not only we acknowledge your artistic amazingness, but it's also your service to the community, and how you've created all of that. So we're very thankful to be part of it as well.
Should I open it?
You shall. This is the drum roll.
Okay, drum roll.
And of course, Anne, please feel free to explain, because she prepared all this with so much devotion and care. I want you to feel free to jump in.
Well, The award consists of 3 parts, or at least 3 parts: a certificate, a silver pin, and honorary membership, lifetime honorary membership in the Canadian Viola Society, plus public recognition of the award.
So this means I won't ever forget to redo my membership every year.
That's it.
For sure.
You've always been wonderful at reminding me.
Oh, we already have a testimonial coming in. That's great.
Well, thank you. This is really fantastic. Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Maybe hold the certificate up to your camera so people can see.
This will be the thumbnail for our video.
This is the certificate. Thank you. It's so great. Oh, and the pin.
The pin, I believe we have very few left, and we, when this day was created, I believe there was one left, and then we were like, okay, this will go to Steve. We have to make more. The last person who was honored was Nick Poulos, and now we're getting back on the roll. The society. This is a good moment for us to thank the whole board for all of their devotion and time, creativity. This year, it was a huge learning curve for us as we were in the revival stage of this event. But we're so thankful that core members such as Anne and Yuta, I merged the two of you, help, putting it back in a place where we can create these events and share. And it's been truly amazing to be part of this group of viola enthusiastic, and we have really young violists who are upping our game with technology and getting the word out there. So this is Lucy Strauss, Carolyn Olsen, and Josiah. Guillaume has been doing some translating for us, and I have mentioned the Viola, the organizers as well, but everyone is being so active, and it's amazing that we're all here gathered today to celebrate you.
Well, thank you so much. I maybe I should look and see who else is on the screen. Oh, there are all kinds of people. I could only see Marina. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for playing so beautifully, those who played. And well, just thank you for all you've given me today. Yes, okay.
Anyone who would like to?
I think we should share the applause.
So, this was the nice broadcast of the Canadian Viola Society. Thank you all there in Canada. And we will go back, and maybe you see already we have a new face in our Zoom meeting, which is Barish Kerembahar. And Jutta is still here as well. And we will have a small talk about the next event of the Turkish Viola Society. Welcome, Barish.
Well, thank you. Good evening to everyone.
Welcome. Yeah, I think it was a wonderful occasion for Canada to share one of the very important moments, actually, of the year and of their history. And it's nice to see how, with this first broadcast, I think we succeed to connect viola lovers and players worldwide and be able to cherish the distinctive features and the rich variety of what every country of our IVS sections has to offer. And so here I think Karen will introduce again, or will talk now a bit more about Barish, who's our next host of a special event.
Yeah, Barish, maybe you can tell us something about everything what's going on in your country. You're a young member of the International Viola Society, so go on. It's your turn.
Yes. First of all, congratulations to Canada. It was great event, and not only us, but all over the world, living really hard times. And International Viola Society keeping us together. I really like this. So thank you so much. From 5th to 10th of April, we will have first National Viola Days, and we are so happy. And this is only the beginning for Turkey. There will be workshops, exhibitions, concerts all day from 10 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. every day. This is important thing. We will stream live via our university YouTube channel. They can watch everything online, also concerts and exhibitions. And you can download the detailed program booklet, both in Turkish and English, from our website. I want to tell www.turkishviolasociety.com. And also they can follow us from Instagram, Turkish Viola Society. They can find easily. We are so active in Instagram.
And young.
Yes. I want to tell something about concerts. First night, I and Beste Tiknaz Moderi, the professor, will play some beautiful viola duos. She also participated in Canada, Montreal, for previously International Viola Congress before. We will play Bach Brandenburg 6, Vivaldi Two Cello Concerto transcription for two viola, and some interesting Turkish musics. I think everyone will like them. Also bridge, lament. I love bridge, wonderful music. Second night, another important concert. One of the most important viola players in Turkey, also my master degree student now, and she is the first viola in Presidential Symphony Orchestra, Ankara, Turkey. She will play Weber Andante Rondo and Brahms Sonata for piano and viola, and there will be lots of good events. I hope everyone will like. This is our first National Viola Days.
Very nice, very nice. Oh, I'm looking forward, and I think I will encourage my students as well to just visit already Turkey before, and it's nice. How do you cope with the COVID? Is it okay in Turkey?
Yes, they're not so bad. I watch European countries, but we are doing same. Also, state. Doing walk-in for us. For example, this week I had a message after our festival, I will have walk-in. It's not easy to have that. Not bad. Sometimes they're closing everywhere. For example, in Sundays, sometimes Saturday and Sunday, sometimes all week. It's changing. It's not easy situation for anyone, but we are fighting with this. Still healthy. I'm still healthy. I'm so happy about
yes, that's it. That's true. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to say everybody goodbye. Jutta, Barish, thank you for joining me. And the next broadcast will be on the 18th of April with the Turkish Viola Society in an overview of the festival, and Barish, you will be there as well with me. We will definitely talk a bit about the broadcast, and one of our members of the International Viola Society board will be there as well. So it will be a lovely evening, or for me evening, for Jutta or for somebody else, very early morning or wherever, because we are everywhere in the world, which is really nice. So thank you very much both. And let's go for the last. And I would like to say goodbye to everybody from Holland. Bye. And I will show you the next trailer of the Turkish Viola Society for the next broadcast on the 18th of April. So have a nice day, evening, morning. Goodbye.
See you again.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. From the 5th till the 10th of April 2021, the Ankara Music and Fine Arts University and the Turkish Viola Society will organize their first National Viola Days in Ankara, Turkey. Workshops, concerts, exhibitions and more events can be visited online over the Turkish Viola Society. The International Viola Society will make an overview of the whole festival and broadcast these National Viola Days on the 18th of April at 8:30 p.m. European Time, Amsterdam. Paris Kerem Bahar, the president of the Turkish Viola Society, will lead you through this beautiful event. If you would like to keep informed over the upcoming viola events from all over the world, please subscribe on the YouTube channel of the International Viola Society.